Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome back to all of the Aries out there. If you are an Aries sun, moon, rising, or north node, this is your tarot reading for the upcoming month of February of 2025. And in case any of you are interested, I will be using my Osho Zen Tarot deck for these readings this time around. I've only ever used this deck for personal readings before, but it was calling out to me. And so far, the symbolism has been insane. It's really connecting with all of the energy of the sign. So, Aries, I hope we get the same thing for you guys. So, with all of that said, let's see what Aries has in store for February. All right, Aries. So the cards that came out were the Ten of Cups, Harmony. That's another thing with this deck. Rather than saying the name of the card, it has little buzzwords that connect to the card symbolism. So for Ten of Cups, it's Harmony. The Devil, Conditioning. The Six of Swords, the Burden. Temperance Reverse, Integration. And at the bottom of the deck, we have the Hanged Man reverse, New Vision. And then under the Hanged Man was the Queen of Cups upright. So off the bat, my very first reaction to these cards was you're definitely giving into some sort of impulse that's not necessarily helpful, that's causing you to lack patience, to kind of rush through the process of something. And because you're rushing through the process, you're not obtaining the wisdom you need. And I think in this case, it is emotional wisdom, it's emotional understanding of some sort, whether that's your own emotional understanding. Nope, that's it. Period. Your own emotional understanding about a situation. Say hi to Nelly. And it's almost as if it's because you don't want to dive into the depths of your emotions about this situation, which is why you're trying to rush through the process. But with the Ten of Cups and the Queen of Cups coming out, you have the capability to really tap into this really steady, sure, connected, fulfilled, emotional side of yourself if you learn to just slow down and sit with where you are rather than trying to rush through. And Aries, you guys are very, very hyper focused. You know, you like to go, you like to go, you like to do, you like to experience, but you're not going to obtain the wisdom again that you need from this experience by rushing through it. And with the temperance reversed, especially, the temperance represents patience with the process, and temperance is also a certain spiritual wisdom. It's a connection. It's a connection between the physical world and the spiritual world. It really is balance between the two aspects of life, the spiritual and the physical. When it's reversed, you're lacking that patience to find that balance. Like you can see the yin yang on there. It's really integration of all sides. And with the Ouroboros, the Ouroboros up here, it's a cycle that you've been through before when it's upright. So you know it's like you're coming back to it. You're like, oh, okay, I'm back here again. That's okay. I know what to do. I know what I did last time. I know how to get through it. When it's reversed, it's like like this feeling of uncertainty within yourself. You're almost disconnected from your intuition in that way, and you're not trusting your moves. You're not trusting where you feel you are leading yourself right now for whatever reason. And I think that lack of trust within yourself is because you're trying to run away from this emotional depth. And both of these are upright. Again, these would not come out unless you have the capability of tapping into that depth. But with the devil, it's you are leaning into your vices. You're leaning into unhealthy coping mechanisms. You're doing everything you need or everything you can do in order not to face what you need to face. And I think it's because there might be a trepidation. There might be some sort of like fear in facing this. But with the Six of Swords, I know it's called the burden in this deck. I'm going to go off of the traditional Rider-Waite symbolism here. With the Six of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck, it shows three people in a boat. There's a child huddled up under a blanket with like a mother figure sitting down. And then there's a man, we can assume it's the father figure, older brother, whatever, in the back that's rowing the boat. He's standing up at the back and he's rowing them toward like out of a storm towards like level ground towards an island, and you can see just a sliver of the sun rising in the distance. So it is a metaphor of the worst is over and you are going towards more steady ground. Although it's almost like the battle has been won, but not the war kind of energy. But in that sense, it's like, but the battle's over, so we can rest, and we're going towards an area that we can rest to get ourselves ready to prepare for the bigger thing. And with that energy there, I think that's what you have to look at in terms of this emotional connection with yourself. Because there is fulfillment waiting for you if you learn to tap into those emotional depths that you do have. Because Aries, you guys are emotional beings. You're the first sign of the zodiac. You are literally like the infant of the zodiac in terms of like growth and this the zodiacal wheel. And as the infant, think of kids, think of toddlers. They are very emotional and they let those emotions out. They express them, but they don't necessarily sit and it's interesting because kids don't ruminate on their emotions. They feel their emotions. Can you hear that? There's like 50 crows in the trees outside of my house right now. I don't know if you can hear it, but they're going crazy. Oh my God. Anyway, if the Morrigan is one of your patron deities, she is with you right now trying to help guide you through this, which makes sense because the Morrigan is the goddess of war and Aries is the warrior. So that might resonate for some of you. That's crazy. I lost my train of thought. I lost where I was going with that before. Now they all left. That's so weird. As soon as I started talking, they all flew away. Anyway, symbolic. Um, Again, I lost where I was going with that previously, but ultimately there is an act of surrender with the Queen of Cups. It's surrendering to the emotional body, it's surrendering to the selves, the kids. That's where I was going. Kids are interesting because they are the most emotionally in tune beings that we know. When they are feeling big emotions, they express them, they feel them, they let it out, they release it. They don't ruminate on it. And it's that act of releasing that helps them get more in tune with their emotional understanding. And yeah, they have to work on, like healthy ways to release their emotions rather than just like raging. Which I think Aries, that's kind of why you are feeling this fear of really diving into and surrendering to the depths of these emotional waters. But what's interesting is the second you choose to surrender, the second you come into harmony with yourself. The second you are able to find that balance and turn this energy upright in your life of the temperance. The second you are able to actually take a pause and reflect and use that reflection for the betterment of your circumstances to bring you back to that stable ground to help you find that levelness and move forward as needed. But first you have to stop giving into those unhealthy coping mechanisms that cause you to, and I think that's what it is, going back to how kids can lash out when feeling their emotions. Maybe you've been conditioning. It's possible you've been conditioned from a very, very young age that when you have big emotions, it's not okay to express them the way you feel you need. And I think that's what's causing that separation, like between your intuition and your self-understanding in that way. So this is going to be a very important turning point for you. And what's interesting is it's not even like this big thing. It's a turning point where you're going to come up to this thing that causes you to feel into the depths of your emotions, and it'll just be like a fork in the road. Like you're just walking. Neither road is better than the other. They are exactly the same, but it's just one road you learn how to properly express your emotions without fear of being too much or too big or having people react in a negative way that you may have had in the past. Or, you'll go down the other way, which is the path you've been walking, which has worked for you thus far, but you still are, and essentially that's the thing. They look the same, but this path where you learn to properly express your emotions without fear leads forward. Where this path seemingly leads forward, but eventually loops right back around. And then it puts you right exactly where you are again. And that's represented by the Ouroboros at the top here. Oh, that's interesting symbolism too. So with its reverse, the Ouroboros, the cycle, is at the top. It's at the forefront of your consciousness. It's something that you're continuously repeating, where when it's upright, it's at the bottom. So it is something that you keep in your gut. It's like a learning lesson that helps to guide you forward, but it's not something that's at the forefront of your consciousness, of your experience, of anything like that. Nelly again. So just keep that in mind. I think it'll be a really valuable lesson, even though it'll just feel like another Tuesday. And I think that's part of the lesson as well, is the depths of your emotions aren't as scary as you think they are, but I don't even think it's the fear of your emotions that's holding you back. It's the fear of the response to the emotions. It's the fear of the outer response to the emotions that you have that are holding you back, because it's possible in the past they were not met with the love and the care that they needed to be met with. So again, it's not going to feel like this big grand, oh my God, my life is changing. I'm taking this path and bugger the rest of it. It'll feel like a random Tuesday where you just make the decision, you know what? I am going to express myself because I deserve to. And then that path is going to lead you down towards wherever else you're going in this life. And I think that's really, really valuable. That's actually really wise. I have chills right now. There's such a wisdom in that, where it doesn't have to be this big, grand thing. It doesn't have to be like, oh, yes, my life is changing. It's just like, I'm just making this choice and we'll see where it takes me. And ultimately, the choice will bring you to where you are meant to be. And you know what? Before I move on, with the Six of Swords as well, and I think that's why it's not going to feel like this big grand thing, because your choice to feel and express the depths of your emotions today will lead you down this path. And it'll just be like a simple, okay, I'm deciding to do this. But again, a, 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 a subtle theme of the Six of Swords is we've won the battle, but not yet the war. So it's possible that you needed to make this decision now to trust in your feelings and to express your feelings openly despite the fear, because there's going to be something down the line that may have previously, it could be something big that may have previously caused you to repress and press down and not express yourself as openly as Aries you naturally do. Um, so that's just something to keep in mind. Your decision that you make today is not about how you feel today. It's about how you feel when this bigger thing comes up, and your ability to express yourself openly when the bigger thing comes up. And that's why it won't feel big today, but it will have big, big repercussions, but not like in a bad way. I just did this the other day. What is a word that means like consequences or repercussions, but that's not like negative? Oh God, I gotta get my thesaurus out. Thesaurus. Anyway, that's funny. Oh, that's also funny. That's why. So all three of these are reverse. Fool reverse. The Knight of Swords reverse, fighting. It's funny because the Fool's the only one in this deck that's actually called what it is, the Fool. And then at the bottom we have the Queen of Pentacles reverse. And what was funny first was that before I started shuffling, or I guess when I stopped shuffling in the middle to mention that thing I just mentioned, she was at the bottom of the deck reversed. And I was like, should I mention her? No, she'll come out if she's meant to. And the Knight of Swords reverse was upright underneath the Queen of Cups reverse. But I didn't think it was potent to mention it when it came out because it wasn't supposed to be upright. It's supposed to be reversed. So yeah, that's and the Fool reverse too. This is all kind of going back to what I was just saying, how you making this decision is not going to start you on some brand new journey. It's you're still in the same cycle that wants to be said, even though I don't want to say it, but that does want to be said. You're still in the same cycle currently. You're not quite ready to move forward on this new beginning, because this decision to tap into that depth of feeling and surrender to your feelings and let your feelings guide you. Oh, as I said that, even look at how like the dolphins connect right to the heart. So that's more of what this is. It's just learning along the journey. Excuse me. Learning along the journey. Oh my God. Expression. Learning along the journey that your feelings are allowed to be expressed. It's like, let's talk about a novel. This is the part of the story where, you know what, let's use Harry Potter, Prisoner of Azkaban as an example. When, before they go back in the time turner and Harry sees his dad casting the Patronus, and he's so convinced it's his dad. He's like, yes, yes, this is it. This is it. Oh my God, my dad's coming back, blah, 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 blah. And then later on, he learns it's him. It wasn't his dad. And his life had already been saved. He knows that from before he went back with the time turner. So him choosing to cast that Patronus is like you choosing to allow your emotions to guide you, where you already kind of know the outcome and you're not quite at the end of the story yet. There's still a battle to be won in that case. They still have to save Sirius. They have to do all of these things. But it's that choice where he decides, you know what? If my dad's not going to come, I have to take this matter into my own hand. And that's kind of what that is here. But with the full reversed again, you taking this matter into your own hand does not mean it's the start of a brand new journey. You're continuing on the journey you're on, but the wisdom is that you learned the lesson of that portion. It's like it's like a plot amplifier rather than just like, oh, we're starting anew now. And ultimately it will save you again down the line. Just like it saved Harry from the Patronus or from the Dementors. It will save you down the line. But right now, we're not focused on that. It's just that's what I'm. It's like a decision. It's only a decision, and that's it. And again, you do have the choice to just continue business as usual with, avoiding your emotions or avoiding expressing your emotions properly. But ultimately, this path will eventually lead you exactly back to this place. And it's not going to look exactly the same when you come back around, but it's going to be the same lessons, the same cycle, the same thing. And it's just about, do I want to keep repeating this or do I want to say, I'm making the choice. I choose myself. I choose to let my heart and my feelings guide me. I choose to express myself openly without fear of what other people are going to think or say or do. And I'm going to go down this path. And where they look the same for a long time, eventually this one cuts off where that one keeps going. And then down the line, that's when the full upright comes around. But again, this is not a new beginning. It's a simple choice in the month of February. It's a choice to keep going. Like those choose your own adventure books. It's a choice to keep going. That's interesting. And with the Knight of Swords reverse, that ties into the patience aspect we mentioned earlier. Because usually the Knight of Swords, especially, knights are always fast paced, or they want to be fast paced. They want to charge ahead fearlessly. I mean, think of literally a knight in battle. They're not thinking about themselves when they go into battle. They're thinking about winning. And they're just like they get taken by this flow, they get taken by the greater force, especially the greatest swordsman. It's like they are not in their body when they are in battle. They are letting themselves be divinely guided by that. And it's a fast pace, especially with swords, which is air. It's different than like trying to move through water, you know? Air, knights, it's usually fast paced. When it's reversed, though, it's an invitation to slow down and be with yourself. And so, again, while you think this decision, and that's why I think this is being emphasized so much, your ego will think that this decision, you choosing to follow your emotions, is going to lead you on some brand new grand adventure. But the cards are saying not quite yet. The decision is very, very important for you to make. But when you make that decision, it's an invitation to slow down, reconnect, reflect, come back to yourself, steady yourself, find that find that stable ground to prepare yourself before the bigger thing comes later on. And I don't know what this bigger thing is. It's like an ominous presence. But there is something later down the line. It might not be in February because February is about you choosing yourself. February is about you coming home to yourself, essentially, and saying, I'm no longer going to avoid expressing myself. I'm no longer going to avoid feeling the things I need to feel and express openly because of conditioning from my past. But again, it's you need to slow down. After making this decision, slow down and be with your feelings and process them. And if you need to meditate, oh, that's interesting. I felt my third eye like pulsing a little bit there, and it brought me to look back at the 10 of Cups again. How I showed you earlier, how it connects to the heart. It's also connecting right to the third eye. So, and this combines with, let's put her upright, temperance. The balance of the yin and the yang is the balance between the head and the heart. So you being able to slow down and not rush into the next thing, not rush into whatever you think this new beginning should be, you're really tapping into ancient divine wisdom here. And you're finding that balance between the head and the heart, where it's not just your head and your fears dictating how you openly express yourself due to past conditioning. It's they're working together now, where they're both alternate. It's like they're on a road trip, your head and your heart. For a little bit, the head's in the driver's seat and the heart's in the passenger seat, and then sometimes they switch when one gets too tired, and then the heart leads, and then the head kind of navigates. And it's all about striking that divine balance between the two. And that's really the theme here. There's so much wisdom to be found in the month of February, Aries. There's so much wisdom to be found. But it's like the wisdom is just a choice right now. But you're also going to be integrating it as you slow down. And it might not like it's it's going to feel like another random Tuesday. You're going to feel like you're not really doing much. But you just being able to stop and take a second. And oh, that meditation piece wants to be said again too, because I interrupted myself last time. Find a meditation that works for you. Not all meditation is just sitting in lotus and going, it doesn't work for everybody, especially Aries. Again, you guys are very hyperactive. Dancing can be a meditation if as long as you're like, meditation is about finding that space between, think of a film reel, finding the space between, if this is one of the pictures on the film reel, there's that blank space for a split second, and then there's the next picture. You want to find this blank space. And however you need to get there, it's valid. If it is just sitting in lotus, that's valid. If it's yoga, it's valid. If it's dancing, it's valid. If it's kickboxing, it's valid. If it's walking in a park, it's valid. Find your meditation because all of it is an act of slowing down. Even if you're moving your body as you do it, you are still allowing yourself to be fully engulfed in the present moment. And that's what it's about. And I think that's what's going to help you with this integration. Even though, again, it's not going to feel like you're integrating, the act of slowing down and being present and getting out of your head is going to help you move forward from the heart. I think that's complete. Is there anything else? Mhm. Slow down, reflect, find the balance, meditate, and trust your heart to guide you forward. It's almost like you making this decision is a excuse me, is a new hiccup slash burp to confirm. It's a new beginning in itself. It's like the training montage before they go off to battle, because you're making this decision and you're saying, okay, I'm feeling my emotions. The only way I can do that is being fully engulfed in the present moment. So how can I expand that space of the film roll, of that blank space? How can I expand that? That was a theme for Cancer as well, expanding the space. Hmm. Cardinals. Interested to see if it comes up for Libra and Capricorn. But anyway, that was your reading, Aries. Oh my gosh, I was yapping so much this time. But of course, this was a general reading, so it's possible not everything resonated. If that is the case, you can check out my website in the description below, and there you can book with me for a personal tarot reading or human design. Astrology and numerology is coming soon, so keep a lookout for that. If you did like this reading at all, leave me a like and leave me a comment and let me know how it resonated. And of course, we do this every single month for all of the signs. So if you're interested in getting your forecast of the month ahead according to the tarot cards, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you guys here in the future. Oh, Aries. Again, there's not much else that needs to be said. It's slowing down, finding patience, not rushing the process, making the choice, trusting your emotions, trusting your heart, trusting your intuition, coming back to yourself, coming back to that stable ground, and not giving into those unhealthy, unconscious vices, not falling victim to your unhealthy coping mechanisms. And just trusting that whatever you were afraid of is not as scary as you think it was, as you think it is. Mm. I believe in you guys.